So in today's video we're going to discuss clean air zones. Biscuits, where's my biscuits? Biscuits. I can't function with, biscuits. Happy days. No. Hello again, everyone. It's going to be another informative video today. Let's get the computer warmed up. Maybe I can get some of the heat off the computer. It's quite a cold day in Derbyshire today, but it is still winter, isn't it? Or it is when I'm filming this video. So in this video, we're going to discuss clean air zones, which is something that's been adopted by more and more cities, at least in the UK. But before we discuss that, just want to have a little brief bit of housekeeping. Thanks to one of our lovely viewers, we realised that our spreadsheets that we've been attaching underneath the videos, or the links to the spreadsheets that we've been attaching to our Live for Travel Google Drive, only really works successfully on Apple computers, because actually the file is generated on something called Apple numbers. I think there are other ways to get these files to open on a Windows or a Google computer. But of course, we don't want to make it any harder for you than we possibly can. Or we want to make it easy for you, therefore, of course, as we possibly can. So thanks to our lovely viewer, we've done a little bit of work, and we've basically now created two versions of the spreadsheet. And you'll see the links below. They'll look like this. Basically, if you're a Google or Windows user, if you're a Google or Windows user, you'll click on the Google or Windows link and it should work absolutely fine. And if you're an Apple user, then the Apple link will also be there. Check them out. Please let me know how you get on with them. Right, any more housekeeping to do? Oh yes, just one. We get on the channel many comments. I cannot exaggerate how many comments we get. We get loads of lovely comments. We get messages on our Messenger Facebook page, and we get lots of messages by email, and we love them all. Now, just occasionally, of course, not every single message is positive. We don't live in a world where everything is positive, and that's absolutely fine. And occasionally we receive a message of something that might be a mistake that we've made. Well, as I've said before on camera, I'm human, believe it or not, and I make mistakes. But we do a lot of research for these informative videos to try and reduce the possibility of any mistakes creeping in. However, just on rare occasions, we get a comment that is so clearly saying that I am wrong, which I've already said many times, don't mind being wrong. But this particular comment, I guess, got me thinking, because the person saying the comment was actually wrong. But more importantly, they were wrong because I would probably be the best person to know the answer. You'll get what I'm saying in a second. Because our van is subject to it. I'll put the comment on screen now. So basically the comment was to do with another 10 plus mistakes, I think it was, video. And in that video, I pick up on the point that for, I think it was 6 months between 1st of September 2019 and the 11th of March 2020 inclusive, our lovely UK government increased the tax on vans such as ours. They did it because I think they moved it over to some kind of car tax logic. But anyway, whichever, doesn't matter. The end result was it would cost over £2,000 more in tax. Worse still, of course, therefore, it meant that the payments that you make for road tax each year on such vans would cost more for the first 5 years. I think it's year 6 when it goes down. Please check out this video. Well, the comment under it simply said, and I'll quote, "The UK road fund licence changes never came into play in the budget." Didn't they? We bought our 5th motorhome. Well done for buying the 5th. We've only had one campervan and one motorhome. New in June 2020. 12-month road fund licence was £270 rather than the initial £2,135 that is being referred. On the rare occasions that we get these comments, obviously they can be really helpful to us, particularly if they're saying that we made a mistake, and we've made a mistake. And obviously I reply to those comments saying thank you very much for letting us know, and we make the necessary corrections. But also, of course, therefore, on occasion, the person leaving the comments has actually made the mistake. And again, that's absolutely fine. I just politely inform them that it wasn't a mistake in the video. But unfortunately, occasionally, these comments then don't get any confirmation that the person has read it. So just in case the viewer that left this comment is watching this video, and thank you if you are, let me read the comment that you may not have read back to your comment. The UK Road Fund licence was higher from September 2019 to the 11th, or should I say March 11th, 2020, inclusive, which we stated in the video. Please check out the links below that video for your information. And I don't get any enjoyment in saying this bit on camera, everyone. You'll have to take my word for it. For your information, our van was purchased in March 2020 before the Road Fund licence reverted back to the old cheaper format, which means we paid a higher rate because of it. I guess that means I'm best placed to answer that question, aren't I, or answer your comment. The fact that you state in your comment that you purchased your 5th motorhome in June 2020 only confirms that the video was correct, because the change reverted back on March the 12th, 2020. Right, that's it for housekeeping. So in today we're going to discuss what is a clean air zone, using some what I call pink and fluffy statements from the government. What are the different types of clean air zones? Because yes, you guessed it, good old UK government don't do things simple. There are currently 4 different clean air zones, or 4 different classes of clean air zones, and we'll discuss that in this video. What cities currently operate a clean air zone, and you'll see currently as capitals, because of course we all know what's going to happen. More cities are going to adopt this. Will there be more cities implementing clean air zones even? Well, yes, there certainly will be. Where does the money go? I'd like to know. Can I pay before or after driving through a clean air zone? What vehicles are exempt from the charge? Are the charges applicable 24 hours a day? I found that one particularly interesting, everyone. I've heard I can't get to Portsmouth port without paying the charge. Is this correct? We'll discuss that. I drive an older vehicle. How can I avoid the charges? What about driving in Europe? Then I'm going to give you some of my personal views, because, you know, I like to give everyone my personal views on these videos. And we've got another one of those, and now, but wait a minute. And at the bottom of the spreadsheet there are plenty of what I would call, hopefully, useful links that you can peruse at your leisure, everyone. All right, let's crack on. Let's see if we can keep this video under 20 minutes. Might put a countdown timer. Shall I put it? I'll put it there, just so you know how long's left. And there'll also be a handy index underneath the video. So depending on the device that you're watching us on, you should be able to find the index, see the different sections that I've just listed, and just jump to those relevant sections that you're most interested in, if you don't want to listen to the brummie on video for a whole 20 minutes. Okay, let's crack on. So what is a clean air zone? The Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, otherwise known as DEFRA, and the Department for Transport say a clean air zone defines an area where targeted action is taken to improve air quality, and resources are prioritised and coordinated in order to shape the urban environment in a way that delivers improved health benefits and supports economic growth. Somebody got paid good money to write that, didn't they? Now, let's just be clear on this video, everyone. Something does have to change. As we said in this video, the way we use transport and fossil fuels has got to change, and I absolutely respect that. And I guess particularly for inner cities, do we want engines running past people's residential homes with diesel fumes coming out? So at no point am I suggesting in this video that there shouldn't be a change, but I am possibly suggesting that there's more to it than, of course, getting cleaner air for everyone that lives in cities. Anyway, what are the different types of clean air zones. Well, as you'll see, there are currently 4 classes of clean air zone in the UK, and we'll go down each one now. So class A is for buses, coaches, taxis and private hire vehicles. So obviously not everyone's affected. Class B is buses, coaches, taxis, private hire vehicles, but with the addition of heavy goods vehicles. I guess that can be problematic when it comes to deliveries to shops in cities, but anyway. Class C is again all of the above, but the inclusion of vans and minibuses, which I think it's safe to say is where it gets interesting for people that drive campervans and motorhomes. And D is the same again, but also including cars, and it also states that the local authority has the option to include motorcycles. So what cities currently operate a clean air zone? Well, we have Bath, or Bath, depending on where you come from. They operate a class C clean air zone. Birmingham, class D. Of course, I'm from Birmingham, so I'm going to call it Birmingham. It's where I'm from, you know. I don't try to hide it. I couldn't if I wanted to. They operate a class D, as we say, and Portsmouth operate a class B. Now, I've added a note on the spreadsheet, as you can see, where Portsmouth state there are no current plans to charge small campervans or motorhomes. That's probably because Portsmouth are on class B, so they're not currently affected. But charge some large motorhomes as private heavy goods vehicles, or PHGVs, if that's what classification they've been assigned, of course. Please note as well that London has a ULEZ, or Ultra Low Emission Zones, which is slightly different again. So will there be any more cities implementing clean air zones in the UK? Well, of course, the answer is yes. Currently, Bradford will implement, they quote, early spring 2022. But the date, of course, is therefore to be confirmed. Greater Manchester say, well, there has been a delay as further consultation is conducted. Now, the Gov UK website states it will be implemented by 30th of May 2022. But an update on the CAGM, or Clean Air Greater Manchester website, the link of which is in the description below this video, everyone, please check it out. They have an update that says we will now work jointly to meet the Greater Manchester and government requirements on clean air as soon as possible, and no later than 2026. Now, I'm not suggesting it's going to be 2026. It's got every chance it's going to be live by 30th of May 2022. I'm only stating what's on the website. Please go and check it out for yourself. More cities, of course, will also implement clean air zones in the future. So where does the money go if we drive through one of these clean air zones and there's a charge? It's a good question. On the Breeze website, that's difficult to say for even a Brummie, they say any money raised from the zone has to be reinvested in transport related projects and policies. It cannot be used to support the council's general budget and fund services such as bin collections. Well, that's okay then, because I trust all the councils and the government, don't I? Can I pay before or after going through the clean air zone? Yes, you can. Now, I'll read this verbatim from the government website, but I would say to you again, everyone, that for all these informative videos, you need to satisfy yourself about the situation for your particular vehicle. It's always best to use the links that we are providing in the spreadsheet in the description below this video. Check it out and just make sure that you're absolutely clear what you need to do. But anyway, the government UK website says you must pay the charge by 11:59 PM on the 6th day after driving into the zone. You can pay up to 6 days before you travel. If you do not pay the charge in this time, you may get a penalty charge notice. So what vehicles are exempt from the charge? Well, people discuss vehicles based on their classifications, M1, N1, HGV. I'm actually not going to go into those details on this video because personally I would only ever recommend that you go and check your own vehicle registration number on the government website. Currently our van, just out of interest, which has a Euro 6 engine, has no charge for the clean air zones listed above. Our van is also free within the London ULEZ area, but of course there would have to be a congestion charge to pay. So please go and use the links below In fact, there's one link that covers all but the London ULEZ charge below, and then obviously there is a separate link for the ULEZ charge. Please go and check them out. Are the charges applicable 24 hours a day? I like this one because I found a paragraph in a government guidance paper, a link to which is on the spreadsheet, which is available below this video, that states if the local authority chooses to implement a clean air zone, the government has assumed in its modelling that the zone would operate constantly. However, if a local authority can demonstrate that by operating on a reduced hours basis, it will still achieve compliance with air quality limit values in the shortest possible time, it could bring forward such a scheme. Now, if you haven't cheated and already read what it says next in bold on the spreadsheet, what's your thoughts? Do you think any of them are not 24 hours a day? They are all 24 hours a day, everyone. And I'm sure whilst all those cities and all the upcoming cities that adopt the same will no doubt say that they need to meet the target, I just didn't doubt for 1 minute that they'd want to be charging everyone 24 hours a day. You will note, however, that the London ULEZ charge is except Christmas Day. And just in case you don't know when Christmas Day is in the UK, the government's paper does confirm it's on the 25th of December. No upsetting any kiddies now trying to change the day to Christmas. The next one I see mentioned quite often on the Motorhome Happiness Facebook group, a link to which I'll put in the description below because it really is a good group and everyone with motorhome should support it. I think they're probably about 50,000 members or more. Anyway, it's a very good group. What I do see mentioned quite often on the group is potential issues with travelling to the Portsmouth port. Now, the Portsmouth port, apart from many other places that you can go to from Portsmouth, one of the obvious places of which we would travel to is the Isle of Wight. Now, as you probably already know, at least if you live in the UK, that there's two ways of travelling to the Isle of Wight, or at least there's only two ways that I know of. And one is from Portsmouth and one is from Southampton. Well, of course, Southampton at the moment does not have any kind of clean air zone, but Portsmouth does. So the concern is, can you reach the port without driving through the clean air zone? I will read verbatim what is on the spreadsheet. What you will see that Whitelink, which is obviously the ferry that is operating from Portsmouth to the Isle of Wight, they state Portsmouth is introducing a clean air zone from the 29th of November 2021. Well, of course, that's now passed and it's live. Cars, vans and motorcycles going to and from our car ferry port on Gunwharf Road, I hope I pronounced that right, won't be charged as part of this scheme. The only vehicles to be charged will be older taxis, private hire vehicles, buses, coaches and lorries. Now, of course, this may change, but as I think we've already mentioned in this video, the reason why such vehicles are not currently charged is, and I've put it in the notes below, Portsmouth at the moment are only operating a Class B clean air zone. If, however, they migrate to a Class C or D charging system, then of course that will change. But again, I would still recommend that you check your vehicle registration number to make absolutely sure that there is no charge applicable to your vehicle. So, what if you drive an older vehicle? Are there any options? Well, as you'll see, I've put one on there, but as we read through it, I think we'll agree there's not many people that will probably take up this offer. A vehicle can be retrofitted with technology accredited by the Clean Vehicle Retrofit Accreditation Scheme, or CVRAS. All these different bodies that didn't exist before we started living in an extremely complicated world. Please see link to the Clean Vehicle Retrofit Accreditation Scheme below. However, the cost to convert, for example, a Euro 5 diesel engine to Euro 6 can be over £5,000. This, of course, makes it uneconomical for most. And you'll also see I put in bold there something that I think we should all appreciate will doubtless happen in the future. Also, what guarantee would we have if we had paid out that £5,000 plus, of course, that the regulations wouldn't change in the future and a Euro 7 standard would be required to be charge exempt? An article on the Motor One website says Euro 7 regulations are inbound and expected to come into force in 2025. So what about driving in Europe? Well, I'll put a little inset picture now of what we've got on our windscreen, which is for France, and I believe it's called an emissions vignette. This permits us to drive through the specific towns, cities that operate such a system. Now, I've put links for further information about the requirements for driving through France and for Europe in general on both a link to the RAC website on this subject and for the emissions vignette itself in France. Please go and check them out. It didn't cost very much money at all. I think it was around £4. However, it's a little bit of a convoluted process because ultimately you're dealing with the French government, and unsurprisingly, the French government obviously like their paperwork at least as much as the UK government. But we filled it all out, they sent it back, stuck it to the windscreen, everyone's happy. Please go and check out the links. So what are my personal views? Well, for me, clean air zones, congestion charges and any other taxes that our wonderful government implements will only increase as the whole landscape of how we travel and how vehicles are powered evolve. If there is one thing, everyone, I think we can be confident about, and please leave me your thoughts on this in the comments below, is that the costs of owning and driving vehicles will only rise, and this is even for electric vehicles. Now, I don't like using the word smug, but if any of you watching this video drive an electric vehicle already, I'm sure you appreciate, I'm sure you're not naive enough to think that the benefits that you're currently enjoying with regards to zero road tax or the benefit in kind if it's a company car, well, they're just not going to last. Those benefits will be eroded well before the 2030 date that the government currently proposed. There'll be a ban on fossil fueled vehicles or the sale of brand new fossil fuel vehicles. We discuss a lot more about that in this video. And then that kind of got me thinking, and please leave me your thoughts in the comments for this one, everyone. I enjoy reading your comments and your thoughts. Do you recall when diesels were promoted in the UK during 2001? I do. I wonder what EVs will be seen as in 20 years. I'll just leave that with you. And we're going to do what I like to do now on these spreadsheets. I've put but wait a minute. In the UK, we have something called the historic vehicle class, which are vehicles over 40 years of age. These vehicles are currently exempt from clean air zones, although my own personal Citroen 2CV is not currently exempt because it's not 40 years old till 2026. But anyway, and it kind of got me thinking, anyone fancy a VW Type 1, a Type 2, or maybe an early Type 3? Just a thought. That's it, everyone. Hopefully we've kept this video to within 20 minutes, even if I decide to put some outtakes at the end, which if I have, they'll be along in a few seconds. We genuinely, sincerely hope you found at least some of this video informative and helpful. If you did, please consider giving it the thumbs up. That way it tells YouTube algorithms that it was a good video and more people should watch it. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. At the end of the video, there'll be a little logo up here, our Live for Travel logo. It'll appear and you can click on it and you can subscribe. It's totally free to do so, but it really does show your support. And again, it helps build the channel. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your campervans and motorhomes. Hope you're getting some travels in 2022. We will certainly be getting a lot of travels in 2022. Maybe we'll meet you at one of the campsites. You never know. If we do, come and say hi and buy me a beer. Only joking, I don't drink beer. See you soon. So today we're going to have a chat. What are we going to have a chat about? I've forgotten. And that Apple's number. I've got squeaking going on here. My shoe is squeaking on the pedestal base. Well, the Department for Environment, Food and Rural... I'll do that again. Well, at the moment we have Bath, or Bath, depending on where you come from, and they operate a Class Z... I'll do that bit again. But charge some large motorhomes as private health? I'll do that again. Currently, Bradford will implementing clean air zones in the UK. and I'll stutter like that old guy on the phone used to do when he was doing that kind of talking. So where does the money go if we drive through one of these clean air zones and we pay the charge? That's a good question. You'll see on the are the changes? So are the charges